We have some more NHL signings to discuss today. The Tampa Bay Lightning have finally made a few signings official. The Sabres have come to terms with a key RFA, and the Dallas Stars have named Rick Bowness official head coach. We'll discuss all the latest news coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. Now, as I mentioned, we have a variety of news to talk about today, mostly UFA and RFA signings, and the Dallas Stars have finally made an announcement on their coaching position, which we'll kick things off with here. Of course, Rick Bowness, as we know, was named interim head coach last season after they had to release Jim Montgomery from his position as head coach. Of course, Bowness has been around the NHL a long time, held various assistant coaching roles over the years. He's been a head coach in the past as well, and really did a marvelous job with the Dallas Stars, leading them to a lot of success towards the end of the regular season, into the playoffs, and going on a successful run all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, where they fell just short of capturing the Stanley Cup. So we had heard comments before from GM Jim Nill indicating that basically the job was his, and they basically just had to come to terms on a contract. Obviously for Bowness, he's going to get a raise, so they have finally officially done that. Rick Bowness is now the official full-time head coach, no longer has an interim tag. Certainly well-deserved, and we'll see if he can help Dallas recapture some of that magic we saw in the playoffs here this past year, and if they can continue to have a lot of success. And it'd be nice to see Bowness capture that elusive Stanley Cup that he's been chasing for a long, long time. So, good coach, well-deserved. Good to see. Now let's moving on to some other news. Of course, the team that beat the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Final finally made a couple of signings official. We may have touched on this before because the signings were basically rumored and somewhat official, but hadn't been filed and registered with the NHL, and that's finally been completed here. They've re-signed UFA forward Pat Maroon to a 2-year contract at $900,000 per season. So, of course, for Patrick Maroon, two-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champion, he gets a 2-year deal for the first time here in a while. He has been working off a lot of 1-year contracts, so nice to see him rewarded. See if he can go back-to-back here for 3 consecutive cups. I mean, Tampa obviously will still have a great team, even though they will look a little bit different heading into next season. Of course, their offseason, though, is far from over. They still have some tough decisions to make around their RFAs especially. They also brought back UFA defenseman Luke Schenn. He gets a 1-year deal at $800,000. He proved to be a pretty valuable depth piece for the Lightning. They went through quite a few defensemen here throughout the playoffs. Unfortunately, some guys like Zach Bogosian, for example, came in, and now he's gone to Toronto via free agency. That creates a spot here for Schenn to still probably be like a 6-7 guy for the Lightning next year. Certainly worked out for him, and it's worth sticking around for sure. So the Lightning make those signings official finally. We also saw a contract that was fairly substantial and important for Buffalo. They've come to terms with RFA forward Victor Olofsson, who had a really solid rookie season last year. He gets a 2-year deal, just over $3 million per season. Gets a little bit more money in year 2 than year 1, but it's an average annual value of just over $3 million. Of course, a lot of his goals came on the power play, but still, he showed that he could be a top 6 guy for them. He certainly can be a proven goal scorer, and we'll see what else he can accomplish here with the Sabres with some extra added firepower in that top 6. Will be interesting to see how that impacts him, and if his goal totals will continue to climb here. So a young player for Buffalo, locked up for a couple more seasons. The Carolina Hurricanes have signed forward Max McCormick to a 1-year, 2-way contract, the standard $700K at the NHL level, but he does get a higher level at the AHL level. I believe it's just over $100,000. So for McCormick, he's really at this point a career minor leaguer with a limited amount of NHL action. Came in with the Ottawa Senators. Had a fair bit of AHL action with them, a little bit of NHL action, has bounced around a little bit, but Carolina's opted to keep him around. At this point, he's a pretty good veteran to have on your AHL squad. He certainly can play with a lot of grit and toughness. Probably at this point not going to be a full-time NHL player throughout his career, but certainly a player who can be called upon if needed, depending on what kind of player you're looking for, especially someone who could play fourth-line role or bottom 6 minutes for you at the NHL level. And we also saw the Columbus Blue Jackets sign RFA forward Ryan McInnes as well to a 1-year contract. Standard, again, $700K to NHL level, $70K to AHL level. McInnes is a player who's 24 years old now. He's got parts of 4 seasons, I believe, in the American Hockey League with some okay numbers. It hasn't exactly been lighting it up in pro hockey on either level, but he did get a chance to play in around 10 games with the Jackets last year. Only put up, I think, a couple of points, so nothing flashy from this player, but he's a guy who could be a bottom six guy, still trying to find his way here, so he gets another 1-year, 2-way deal. We'll see where he lands. I would imagine he'll likely start at the American Hockey League level, but be another call-up option here for the Blue Jackets. And we also seen word that some players did sign over in the KHL, most notably Oscar Fantenberg, another Vancouver Canuck departure. He did play a fair bit for them on the blue line in the playoffs. Fantenberg wasn't a big name, but he has bounced around a bit in the NHL, was having a hard time finding a steady, regular NHL home, and the Canucks were not able to bring him back as well. So they've had a lot of departures through free agency this year, but he signs over in the Continental Hockey League. So we'll see if he ever makes an NHL return or not. So that is all your latest updates here for today. For right now, at least for signings, we'll be back here with more videos later today, so stay tuned for those. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and turning on your notifications so you don't miss any future content. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.